Hello, I'm Sandy Boone. I'm the owner of Three Room Studio, and if it's your first time here on my channel, welcome. I hope I'm getting sound, and this is my first live stream, so this is basically for the people who are going to be on the replay. There definitely will be technical mistakes. I'm just trying to. How about now? Can you hear me now? Like I said, I knew there was going to be technical issues. How about now? Yay! Okay, I'm hearing myself twice, but that's okay. I hear you. Oh, thank you so much, Karen. I'm so glad you're here. I actually was thinking about you today. I'm going to be coloring up a virtual background, and I had already decided that I was going to do it as if it was my friend Karen's office, which means purple walls. So for the benefit of the replay people, I'm just going to bring up, this is a, whoops. So this is a digital, this is a digi that you can get on the store. I'm just going to bring it up and share it here. I can remember how. Thanks, Karen. All right. All right. Here we go. So I'm hoping that this is viewable. Let me just look here. Yes, it is. Okay. Whoops. There we go. Okay. So I had this idea. You know how when I first started using Zoom, of course, the first thing I did was figure out that I could change my background. And that kind of seems like this, that everybody does when they first start using Zoom. So what I realized that there's, you can just take your own photo, you can add your own file, you can add your own virtual background, and that's fun. But I started thinking, what if we could color our own? And so that's what these are. So there's a couple backdrops, and if you go to the store and you search virtual background, see that there's two. There's one that's a craft room, and there's also one that's an office. And that's the one that we're going to be doing today. So they are, you can download them immediately as soon as you purchase it. What's important here is that the dimensions are the right size to fit on the screen. So you can shrink it or make it bigger or whatever. And you can color them digitally also, which I've done. And there's an example of that here on the store. Here's one, this is the craft room that I colored digitally. But you can also color them. So I printed them, I printed one off. I'm going to color it today with Copics, and then I'm going to take a photo of it, or I can scan it, and then I'll resize it to 16:9 ratio, and that will fit the dimensions of the background. So if you're using Zoom or Teams, or I know there's a number of other kind of video conference platforms, it should work for those. So. Great. So back to me. Karen, did you see all of that? You can see. Good. Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to switch cameras, and I'm going to, here we go. I'm going to start coloring. So I've got my handy Sandy Allnock hex chart here, and I'm just going to pick some, I think I'm going to start with some of the smaller elements and work my way up to the walls and everything. So I'm going to do, I think, YG01, YG03. I like YG25 and YG63. I'm going to do this little plant. I will definitely let you know which purples you use, yes. And I've just got my scrap paper here to make sure I've got the right colors. Okay, so this is YG01, YG0, nope. Go the other way, YG03, YG25, and YG63. All right. So sometimes I start with a light color, and sometimes I'll start with the darker color. It just depends what mood I'm in. So this time I'm going to start with light colors. What's that noise? Okay, sorry, that's my zipper on the microphone. I'm wired for sound. Okay, I'm going to go right into my dark color. And because, okay, so this leaf is behind the other ones, so it's going to be a little bit darker. And it's going to dip in the middle bit here, so I'm going to make it a little bit darker there. And then I'm just going to blend it out. I might not even actually need my YG25. So it's such a small area. So this is my first attempt at a live stream. I've spent quite a bit of time watching YouTube tutorials. So it's one thing to watch. It's an entirely other thing to run the whole thing yourself and color too. So I'm sure I'll get better. Sandy, hello Sandy. Thank you so much for coming. I have to remember to look at the comments. Normally I would be hunched over the image and I would be able to see a little bit better too. Okay, I'm going to color that little leaf back there. And because it's right in the back, I'm not even going to go to the lightest color. I'm just going to go down to YG03. I actually don't think that's dark enough. I'm going to add, yeah, YG67 just into the little areas that would be in shadow. Bottom of this leaf. And I think I'll just do the YG25 now. And YG03. Yeah, it's better. Oh, bonsoir, wings to butterfly. Bienvenue. Can you all see the image okay? Oops. Good. Okay. I've got quite a little setup here. I think my lighting will get better, and I think just in general things will get better. This is the test run. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me, though. So with these backgrounds, what I was thinking is that obviously you can use them for a virtual background for your Zoom meetings or whatever. But I was also thinking that if you shrink the image down a bit, say to about 8 inches wide, it ends up being around 4 inches tall, which is close to the size of a slimline card. So you could make this into a card. You could, is my laptop charged? You must have You must have been at the one on when was that? Last weekend. Yes. I made sure to bring my charger this time. I'm just gonna try and do something with my zipper and mic here. That'll work. So I am sorry for the noise. How's that now? So my thought was that I would color this up. And Karen, plug your ears because I was going to send it to you. And then I'll also send you the digital, or not the digital. What am I trying to say? The photo. There we go. There's the plant. I'm sorry. This is as far as I could zoom in with this camera. Okay. What color for this? Pencil holder. Was that blue I snuck in? No, it was just, that was YG67 is the darkest, YG25 was the medium, and YG03, these three. The walls are going to be purple, so what would look nice with purple? I'm thinking in this family for the walls. What color would Karen's pencil cup be? I'm going to make the scissors black in the meantime. For black, this is my kind of go-to combination. W8, W6, and W3. White, yes, that would be good. Be a nice contrast. Can't see. Okay. There we go. Oh, I forgot to mention, but my light source will be sort of coming from above and from in front as well. So everything on the top is going to be a little bit lighter. All right. And the cup is going to be white, but we still want it to have some dimension. So I want it to read white, even if it isn't actually colored white. So let's see if I can zoom in a little closer here. It's going to get a little bit weird here for a minute. Oop. Well, that's at a bit of an angle, but it's this whole series of joints. There. How's that? Any better? Oh, it might not like that light white. There. Okay, and something is still going on with my zipper too. I'm not undressing. Okay, good. All right, so the cup is going to be behind the stapler, so there's going to be a little bit of shadow here, and it's going to be round, so I'm going to do a little bit of shadow on the sides. So, and it's going to look a little bit weird because I've got a W3, which is quite dark, but I'm just going to do a little bit here on the edge. And then a little bit under the lip of the cup here. Whoops. And then I have a W1, blend that. Just a bit because I want to leave lots of white. And I'm gonna, oh, that looks pretty dry. We'll see. Just the W00. And when it's white, I like to use my 0, kind of blend things a bit more. Soften up the edge. How's the mic now? Is it better? Here. Well, the pencil needs a pink eraser. We'll try R30. And that's the silver right underneath the eraser. So I'm just going to put some C3 in there. Because it's so small, I'm not going to blend it. Okay. I think I want to make that pencil black. There, colored my thumb. That was W8, this will be W6. Jeez. I just got all over my hand thumb. Okay, and W3. Your favorite pencils, Karen? Is it those Blackwing one? I think I've even got one of those here. But that's what I was thinking of. Good. All right. And I think the stapler will be good as black also, because that'll be a nice contrast with the white pencil cup. I'm just gonna turn it around here so I can get in there better. Go-to combination again, W6. I'm just going to leave it a little bit lighter on the top there, because that's where the reflection will be. Connection. Getting a connection request. I wonder what that is. The black Staples one, yes. I like a red stapler just because of office space, but it'll stick out too much. So anytime there's red, that usually ends up being the focus. Okay, silver again, so I'll use, I think, C3, C1. It's just a small area. Sorry about that, I was getting a phone call. Like, no one ever phones until I'm doing this. That's right, not today, Red. That's right. Purple is the star of the show. Okay, while I'm at it, I'm going to, these rings on this binder things are going to be silver too. So while I've got this out, I'm going to do those too. But it's a bigger area, so I think I can use 3 colors. And if this was a bigger open space, I would be making it look more like silver, but it's very small and it's just a small detail, so. And then the lightest is C0, 0. And then this little thing over here too. What else? Oh, this clipboard here too. Also wanted to mention that I have another piece of paper under here to soak up any ink that might go through. If you don't have a piece of paper under there, it could pull up underneath and you can kind of lose control of your ink. I think I printed this out on Neenah Solar White. It's 80 pound. I normally like to use a little thicker, but 80 pound goes through my printer okay. All right. I think it's time to do some walls. Let's do some purple. Okay. Feeling the purple here. I think V1. V12, but one of these is dried out, so, oh yeah, V12 is no good. One, let's say V05. See how that looks. And that's too dark. Try some out. That's V1, 5. Ooh, that might be a little pinker than we want. Well, let's try it. V5 and V6. Oh, maybe V9. What's that? Ooh, that's pretty dark. Don't know that we need that dark. All right. V01, V05, 6, and that one was V09. Might be a bit too dark. Well, let's see. So there's not a whole lot of wall. This area here would be the wall. And then I was thinking the rest of the cabinets would be white. I don't know what Karen's office looks like, but I know what her craft room looks like. And I know that there's some purple peeking through the shelves. And so I assume that Karen's office is the same as her craft room. Or she wishes it was. Yes, purples are hard in Copic. I agree. Well, I think we can go a little bit dark in here too, because the wall will be recessed in, so it'll automatically be a little bit darker because the light won't get there so easily. So I'm just going to do a base of the lightest color first. So I'm just going to talk a little bit how I drew this here. You might notice that there's no lines to kind of indicate where this ends. But I did that on purpose because when it comes time to take the picture or crop it out or whatever, I didn't want anybody to have to deal with lines here. So this way you can make it as big or as small as you want, or, you know, these are straight lines, so you can always just, you know, add on and make it bigger if you like. And to get into these, you know, tiny little areas here, I'm holding my marker up a little bit more upright. And then that gets, we're just kind of using the tip then. And then when I want a bigger area, I turn it a little bit more sideways. And I just turn it to face the way that's easiest for me to get the straightest line. This looks like a nice purple to me. So that looks a little splotchy because that's the first kind of wash of ink here. If I go over it again, it's going to smooth out a bit. And as it dries out, it'll smooth out a bit too. But I'm not too worried because I'm going to be adding some shadow. So there'll be some more ink. It's kind of weird coloring something so big. Usually I'm just working on small little cards. So I think if this is white, I feel like this plant pot should be white too, because I feel like Karen would coordinate that. So again, I'll use W3, W1, and W00. This is a little bit rounded on the bottom, so I'll be a little bit darker here. And then it's a rounded pot too, so it'll come in on the sides a bit, so put a little dimension there. Oh, and I can see I missed a little bit of purple there. Now, this leaf hangs over top, so it's going to create a shadow on the plant pot too, so I'm just going to make that dark there too. And there might be a little bit of shadow here on this side too, so I'm going to put it there too. Yes, you would coordinate, Karen. Yes, I thought so. I'm just going to blend these into the metal. This is going to be light up here because the light source. So I'm just going to maybe leave that a little bit lighter there. W00. And I'm not going all the way in, I'm leaving some white still. And then I'm going to take my 0 and do a little bit more blending. Soften that up. I also feel like Karen probably has purple sticky notes. Now I'm going to go even a little bit lighter. What's lighter than V01? V000. Oh. Make sure that's okay before. Yeah. So I just heard my other camera die. So that was expected. This will be a little bit darker on the bottom because there'll be a bit of a shadow. These may be 0. Ooh, I went pretty dark there. 0.6. It should have been 0.5, but that's okay. 0.1 here and blend it. And actually, because it kind of folds up a bit there, I want to put a little bit of a shadow. Now, purples. There's not really a good in-between color. So I'm going to do tip to tip. So I'm going to touch my V01 to the V05. I'm just going to test that out, and that's going to make somewhere in between. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, and then I'm going to scratch off the rest of that. So we're back to V01 and blend it with the rest. I think I should write something on that note too. Okay, so I'm going to start working on the desk. What time is it here? Oh, it's been quite a while already. I don't know if I might not actually get this done tonight, but actually, I'm going to do some shadows back here first. So I'm going to take the V06. So if our light source is from above, it's going to be slightly darker on the bottom. So I'm just going to just move this so I can see it. Just get a little bit of dark along the bottom here. And there's going to be a shadow behind this plant too. So pull this out a bit. There'll be a shadow behind the stapler. And some shadows behind these leaves too. So that can be a little bit darker. Here too. There's actually a little spot where there would be no light getting through. So just a tiny bit here and here. I'll take the V5 and blend it. V01 to blend it back into the wall. That might be just a bit too much of a jump. There's a V04. What will that do? Oh, better. Because this is thin paper, I don't want to work it too much. So just kind of leave that and see what it does. Oh, here too, there'd be a bit of a shadow. Oh, I missed a spot. Yeah. So I'm going from V6 to V5. And I'm going to do V4 because that was a little bit too much in between V5 and V1. Getting close under this. I just like to kind of go back over and blend things a little bit more. I'm going kind of a little bit farther here because I'll be cutting that off anyway. But I just want to make sure I get right to the edge. I went a little bit too far, so I'll just take my 0 and push this back in. Get back in there. Okay, I feel like we need some more color. I'm thinking BG34. Maybe BG11. I like to add a little bit of blue too. BG15. 34. I don't like that. BG11. There. B000. BG11, you go back. Okay. So I'm thinking just for some accents, like these push pins, these giant push pins. They're very big, but I like things that are supposed to be small but are big. Things that are supposed to be big that are small. So the lightest color is going to be at the top here. And just like the other, like the plant pot and the cup, they're round, so I'm going to do the darkest on the outside. These are such a small area though, we probably won't even really see. In fact, I don't think we need that light. BG34 is good. I'll come back and touch those up. Okay, so I want to add some more color to this. This is looking very purple and black and white. So there's a little green. So we've got a few colors going on though that we can add into the books and to these binder things here. So I'm thinking some green books, some purple books, and some blue books, and some black books. So just gonna jump right in here. PG 34. So again, because the light source is at the top, it'll be lighter on the top. And while I have the markers out, I'm going to do one of these ones also. So these are books that are laying on their side. So again, they'll be darker at the bottom. And a little bit dark here too, where this shelf is. Cast a shadow. I think it might be 0, 0. It's getting a bit dry. Okay. And I think I'm going to do the box in that color also. So the same thing, a little bit darker on the bottom. This is the lid. Sorry if it's spinning is not looking so good. I like to kind of stick to a few colors for a scene. That's definitely drying out. Okay, now because this is a lid, it's going to come out a little bit further than the bottom of the box. So I'm going to put a dark line under here, and that'll make it look like it's recessed a bit. It'll be a little bit dark here in the shadow from the shelf. And then it'll be a little bit darker at the bottom also. trying to make sure these two are blending before I move on. So because I don't want to get a dark line there. I think that one might be toast. I just went up one more, B00, which also is pretty dry. Great. This box just might need a design on it. Sometimes things don't look as dark as that I'd like. So I just go right back. And when you do another layer, it'll get a little bit darker. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that one alone for now because that's not getting much better. Okay. I think we need a purple book here. So V5, V6. Actually, I might get rid of the V5, V6, V4, and V01. Same as before, a little bit dark here. Oh, that's actually blending nice. Okay, Karen. V06, V04, and V01. And then I think we'll just, no, we'll do some more purple books. Do this little one here. I was thinking about making this one purple, but I didn't want purple right next to the purple wall. That blends really nice. That's actually a good combination. I'm going to do a black book also. So W8, W6, and W3. having a dark color here is going to draw our eye into the bookshelf a little bit more. Now this is right up against the shelf, so there's going to be a bit of a shadow here too. Yeah, that's your combo, hey Karen. I just go back and forth to get a good blend. I think this one should be black too. Mainly because I slopped over onto this. I can clean that up with a darker color. There's some planning, but there's also some mistake management. Oops. All too rammy here. I think my W3 is starting to dry out too. So I messed up over here. I'm just going to take my lightest color. I'm going to push it back that way. Oh my. Okay. Now, I also want to do a green book. So, what was that combination? 67, 25. Yep. YG67, YG25, and YG03. I'm just going to start with the lightest first. Go with the flow. Yes, Karen. Exactly. I slopped a little there too, so push that back in. Squeaky, squeaky. That looks a little bit too dark on the bottom there. Just lighten it up a bit with the next color up. Back in there. I think I'm going to do this one black on the end because it's nice to have dark colors on the edges because that brings your eye in to the middle. So. Here I can go as far as I want because it's just going to get cut off. Now, this book goes right up to the edge or to the bottom of the shelf here. So that'll actually be a little darker. And that'll push that back in a bit. So it'll look like it's in farther. Oh, that little book. The green is pretty dark, so I'm just going to go pretty lightly with that. Fingers are getting very inky. Okay, so the wall behind will be purple, but it won't be the light purple. So I think we're going to go with V4, V04. In fact, the wall here is going to be quite dark. So I'm going to do V06 because this wall will be in shadow in behind all these books. It's all splotchy, so I'll go over it again. And that'll darken it up a bit too. And then I'm going to go with the mid-tone, so V04 for this piece of the wall. Oh, that's pretty bright. And again, I'm going way farther than I need to go because this is going to get cut off anyway. So it looks pretty weird right now, but I promise you it'll look better. Okay. I think for the bulletin board, normally it would be kind of a sand color, but I think that wouldn't match with the warm grays we've got going on here. It's too dark. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to make this into a bulletin board. I'm going to use W2 and, well, we'll start with W2. And again, this is going to be a little bit darker at the bottom. It'll blend up into a lighter color. Actually, I don't mind that color. I think maybe I'll make this into the lighter color. Looks good to you, Sandy. Thanks. Sandy's family just got a new puppy. I'm impressed that she's able to sit and watch this. Little Mr. Tito. Oh, sorry, Karen, you asked what purple that was. This was V04. This one was well, it's not in camera. V04, V06, the darker one. And this was V04 also. It's kind of looking like a hot mess right now, but it will get better. Sandy just finished dinner. He's resting. He's getting his second wind. Okay, I'm just going to go a little bit darker on the bottom here with, let's say, W3. We're going to have a little bit of shadow here too, where this clipboard is. So there'd be a bit of a cast shadow here. Uh-oh. Tito must have heard me. He must be up. V4 looks like your wall color, Karen. I thought it was close. I thought it was a little lighter. This is really drying out. All right. Might have to use W4. If I can find it on this desk. See? It's lighter, but the tone is right. Oh, good. There, that's better. So there'd be a bit of a shadow here underneath this sticky note. That's W2. I think so. So I'm just blending everything. But because it's a bulletin board, I think it needs a little bit of texture. I'm not crazy about the way that dry W3 turned out. So I'm going to do some color smashing. So I've got a little piece of terry cloth here. Copic Various ink. I'm just going to kind of wad it up so it's not a hard edge, and I'm just going to tap it on here. Now we'll create a little bit of texture. And the good thing about doing it right now is if I slop into this area I haven't colored yet, it's okay, I can fix it. Now it looks better. Okay. I think I'm going to put a black frame here. And I could get fancy with edges and highlights and stuff, but I'm just not going to. W4. So I'm making the frame look darker at the bottom and lighter at the top. W6. And W4 at the top. It's not blending very nicely. Slopped again. Get back in there. Okay, and I'm just going to make this clipboard black too. I meant to make those handles silver too. And these are open, so I'm just going to color those in dark. What color should these be? I have to think about that. Okay, so the shelves are going to be white, but they do need some shadows. So I think I'll do a W2. So the light would be coming from the front. So everything in the front here should be quite bright white, but as it's recessed, it'll be a little bit darker in here. So just going to add a little bit of shadow here. So as it comes out gradually, it'll get lighter. So this is W2. And, oh, there's W1. I'm gonna go right to W00 though, I think. That one's dried out too. Oh, jeez. Okay, W0. Oh, black and teal. Okay, that sounds good. Maybe alternating. And I'm just going to soften it up with this 0. We're getting there. Karen says yes. Okay, black and teal it will be. Okay, there's going to be a little bit shadow here. And I can always go in and add more, but it's hard to take any away, so W0. Apparently I need to refill my markers all at once. Okay, and there will be a little bit of shadow underneath this plant pot. I'm just going to do a very thin line here. And there'll be a little shadow behind it too. Same with this calendar. And I'm just using W4 because it's just a little bit darker under the stapler too, and it'll be a little bit shadowy in there and in behind the stapler too, because there wouldn't be any light getting through. Okay, I'll blend with W2. I'm just trying to soften it out because we still want it to be mostly white. And then because this is the furthest point back, there'll be a little bit of shadow here too. I'm just going to blend that out. W0. Just blend everything out. What I want is to leave a nice transition here where the front of the shelf is still very white. Maybe a little bit in the corner here too. And then my 0, just to soften it out. Oh, excuse me, sorry. That was probably really loud. Okay. So this shelf will be recessed in a little bit from this vertical piece of wood here. So I'm going to just do a little bit of W4, just a tiny little bit. And that's going to make it look like this is pushing that shelf back. And then I'll blend with W2. And then out to W0. Just going to take a little bit of 0 to just sort of blend that out. And then I'm just going to leave the rest. Oh, except for that place where I slopped. Oh my goodness. Push that back in. What was I doing? Oh, thank you. Bless me. I'm okay. I haven't been anywhere. I haven't really seen anyone. So. Same on this side. You see how that just pushes that shelf back. Now, there would be a little bit of shadow here underneath the books. So I'm just going to go in with a very thin line and get kind of in between, because that's where it will be the darkest. This one even goes in a little bit further than the rest. Just be a little bit right on the edge here too. And that I'm just going to blend out with a 0. I'm not even going to mess around, because I don't want to pull it out into the rest of the shelf. I just want it to look like it's just sort of underneath. I could have even gone a little bit darker. W6. Yeah, that's better. I like a lot of contrast. It also cleans up your coloring a bit too. Okay, I'll blend that with W4. And 0 again. That just sort of softens it up. Here. I'm going to do the same on these. So these are doors, and this shelf will overlap a little bit. So to sort of push the doors back a little bit so that it looks like the shelf comes forward, I'm going to just go in with a really thin line of W4, and then I'm going to blend it out into the bottom. And that's going to push those doors back. W2. And the thicker you make this, the more it's going to look like the door is pushed back in. So if I was to make it come way down here, it would look like that shelf was sticking out way farther. Blend it with W0. And 0. Yes, makes it look 3D. Exactly. This is the fun stuff. Here. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I like to do a smaller area because the inks blend better when they're still wet. Yes, that little bit just makes a big difference. Yeah, you don't need to do much. Barb, hello, my friend from California. This is great. We'll show to color mine, but I need a. Oh, the craft room. Yes. Well, there's a craft room one too. There. I'll do the same thing to these as I did here, but I want to color those first. So we'll do black and teal. W8, W6, and W4. So I'm going to start out lighter on the top and darker on the bottom. But then I'm going to go in after and do a little bit of shadow, same as this. So now we'll push those binders back. Oh, that wasn't very straight. No problem, it'll get fixed. Thanks for hanging in there with me. This is quite a large image and it's taking quite a while. Jeez, this one is starting to dry out too. Jeez. I need to do some marker maintenance. Right. BG15, BG34, and I think that one was dry. B00. Okay. Start with the lighter first. That's a lot better blend. You're watching me on The Walking Dead. I find it relaxing to watch people color too. I'm just kind of sticking here in the middle so that I can get a good blend while the inks are still wet. Okay, so I'm going to put some more shadow underneath there. So I think it was W6 last time. This is just going to be a straight line. Ish, straight-ish. Oh, that was pretty dark. I don't know. Oops. I think I used W4 last time. W2. And then a little bit of 0. There. A little bit more cleanup here. Sorry for all that marker racket. All right. This calendar needs a little bit of something here. Looks too white. Oh, let's not get too crazy. I do think we need something in between these coils. So I'll go with the V4. One. I think this actually needs a little bit of shadow underneath it. So I'm going to take W2. Let's do a straight line right underneath. one's pretty dry. Maybe better luck with W1. Nope. Try W3. All right. It wasn't getting right to the edge here, so I'll do W4. It'll be okay. And I think that I'm not even going to blend. Oh, thanks, Barb. This is Karen's office, as I imagine it. So these labels are a little bit too white. So I'm just going to put a little bit of W0. And a little shadow here. So same as we did here, I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow under here. W4. I'm just going to blend it out with, let's say, W1. But even if it's a little bit of a line, that's fine, because it's a shadow. So that pushes them back. It's kind of hard to see here, but okay. Get my markers out of the way. Okay, just finishing touches. I'm gonna take my black pencil crayon, colored pencil for Americans, and I'm just gonna get into little nooks and crannies here. This is my favorite part. Just very lightly. And darken up under here a bit too. And that'll really make things pop. Anything that'll be in shadow. The bottom of this clipboard here. Sometimes I just can't get in close enough, so this helps with that. Here in these shadows. Can put a little shadow under here too. Oops. If you get a little heavy-handed, just erase a bit. Kind of helps to clean up the corners where you may not have got in quite as close as you thought. And under here too. Just make it look a little bit darker in that shadow there. Oh, here too. I was supposed to put some shadow here. A little darker. Those are already dark. So this is W6. And it's just these books that I write at the top. Blend it with W4. Just gonna do a little bit right on the top here too. And I'm going right over the purple also. Just need to finish off those books. That was just W8, W6, and W4. Make this one a bit fancy. And with it being a digital image, you can bring things in too. Like my idea was around Christmas, I could do this and I could put a tiny little Christmas tree here or something, or I can decorate the office. You could put titles on the books. I'm going to leave Karen a note, but I'll put that in after. But this might be, you know, if you were to make it into a card, into a slimline card, that could be where you put your sentiment in here too. Yep. Oh, Barbie on your way. Okay. Thank you so much for popping in. It was nice to see you. All right. I'm going to cut this out now so it'll look a little bit better. And we'll call it done. So I'm just going to line up these lines here. I'll just put a mark on here lightly so I know. So these lines all the ends of these lines all match up. So if you put your ruler there and just make a line, that's where you can cut. Now you could leave it like this too and just take your picture. That would be fine too, and you can crop this all out. But I just wanted to do this for the purpose of this because it doesn't look very nice right now. Oh, wow, that sounded really loud. Oh, I just have a little trimmer. We'll make it work. Might be something, just botch it all up at the end. There we go. So what I'll do then is I'll just take a picture with my phone and I'll take it into my photo editing software and I'll crop it to a 16:9 size. And that is going to fit right inside my Zoom background or Karen's Zoom background. That's it. So my other camera died, so I'm just gonna have to say goodbye with my hands. That wasn't as much technical trouble as I thought it would be, but anyway, thank you so much, my friends, for sticking around. I'm going to, I'll sit here, I will take the picture and I'll post it. Great. Thanks so much. Have a great night. Bye.